Hello and welcome to the Liberal Media Outlet, other media institution. Yeah, good day, sir, and welcome to the media.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. It's a pleasure. It's always been a pleasure working with you. Welcome.
Yeah, today you've been one of the veterans lawyers in Liberia, and you understand the activities when it comes to law making and when it comes to some principles in law. And today the House of Senate has passed the War Economic Crime Court. What's your take about such?
Well, thank you. It's a good day for Liberia, and firstly, because the House of Representatives and the House of Senate have done what the Liberian people actually have selected them to do. Their primary job is to continue to do laws that are going to be meant in order to promote all of our economic and social well-being in conformity with the general principle for which we are established as a country: fairness, integrity. And so, what we saw today is a concurrent of the Senate to that of the House of Representatives, expressing their desire to uh, support the drafting of a law that will be meant in order to implement war and economic crimes, and our people are so happy. Now, the record has it that over 250,000 persons died. That's what they could actually collect and capture. But if you would take that, those situations that were undocumented, you might be probably talking to probably 500,000 of people who died. They didn't have to die the way they did. The property didn't have to be the way it is. Everyone in the country has been affected, and in order to close that chapter, it is good that we use justice as one of the means. So the World Economic Crimes Court, if it's established as a result of the resolution that were concorded to today, is going to help us in many respects.
There are a lot of mixed views on the issue of the World Economic Crime Code, Pastor Karngar. The senator of Mangidi Kante, in person of Senator Nathaniel Falomake, said that they should try to separate the code. And as a counselor, why do you make on this statement?
Well, the separation of the court or a joint court does not have any significant difference. Now, what is important is that the Liberian people have expressed the desire to actually have a code that will deal with the issue of war and a code that will deal with the issue of economic crimes. The argument that we should break it apart will not change the result, right? It might have some other financial implications because you might want to run two chambers together, or you might want to run a joint chamber. What is important will be the definition that you may find either in the resolution or that you may find in law. What do they mean by war and economic crimes? We don't have a definition yet. It seems to be two words, but the definition is very important for us. The definition may just give you one sentence or one subject.
So, my name is Jefferson Weir. Two senators in the House of Senate are a little bit, against the code. From the onset, Senator Prince Johnson of Nima County, who have taken to social media against the establishment of the code, and then later Senator Thomas Yaya Nime said that the president should focus on the bread and butter issue and forget about the war crimes code. They, in their minds, see it as untimely. Well, the Liberians don't need war crimes code. They need the basic necessities that will improve their lives. What do you have to say about those statements coming from the senators?
Well, what is important today is that Liberia has made history. Majority of the Senate or the senators have agreed, mean the entire countries have agreed for the establishment of the war on economic crimes. Now, if you have one or two senators probably having different views, you need to respect that. Because this is what our democracy is. We need to be able to take views that we should not be reprimanded for the views. But mind you, if you are taking view that's going to be meant to be against the broader public interest, now the public may actually be silent with that. The broader public will be interested in the views that will be meant in order to promote loyalty, in order to promote harmony, in order to promote selflessness, in order to promote earnestness, in order to promote merit, and those tenets that are formed within our Constitution, the general principle. One ballot politics in a way that will all benefit from the bigger part. The World Economic Crime Code is one of the things that you want to call bread and butter. We need it. Because if we do not close that chapter, we are unable to predict what will happen tomorrow. This country has experienced so much, and we do not need anything that will be able to distract us. We need to focus more. We need to hold our leader accountable to issues that we think they are not actually acting in our best interest. We need to do that in ways and manner that's never ever should resemble what we did in the 80s.
Yeah, there are mixed views. There are mixed views on the issue of the World Economic Crime Code. There were names that were captured within the TRC report, and there were names that were not captured. So and other people are there recommending that the TRC should go beyond, go for those who name also that were not captured within the TRC report. So as a lawyer, as a strong advocate, what is your position statement on this?
One thing at a time. We've agreed as a country that we've established the World Economic Crimes Code. Whether we form two separate codes to run concurrently will not change the result. Now, there are views that folks are saying, look, what the TRC have said, follow that. The TRC recommendation is have said there is need for further investigation. So if folks are actually following the TRC recommendation and say we must investigate further, aside from those that we even have right now, I think it's in the right direction. We need to investigate as much as we can to ensure that those who bear the greatest responsibility will be able to account for the responsibility after they shall have gone through a due process. A process that will hear before they condemn. A process that will provide notice before it takes action. A process that we have long been waiting for. And that process is around that our members in the House of Senate and those in the lower house have expressed the desire, and we should hail them for that. I think Liberian everywhere, in whatever corner you are, be clapping for your senator. Whether your senator voted today for or against, what is important is that a majority of the senators have actually concorded with what was done by the lower house. It's a plus for us as people. It's a plus for all of you. Most of you have been advocating all along. The mixed view is good. I support the proposition as contained in the TRC report that there is need to conduct additional investigation. What the TRC did was not a final, or it is not a closure of investigation. We need to always investigate. A recent, the police director has said they could investigate, situations are reported to the police that have not been closed, or somebody that have been closed, they will try to open them, and we're calling that thing cold cases. I think now there's a cold case or cold case desk that is meant to review cases that were not properly closed to see if they can investigate that. So there's always needs for investigation because there are new information that will be found over time using new technology, new skill set. The librarian have been trained in different things all over. Some are not trained in forensic science using computer technology. The issue of digital technology will also help do investigation. So we need to give in, right? As the TRC report has actually indicated, there is need for more investigation if we have the resources.
So to the issue of finance, many librarians see this also that Liberia is now ready for this code, owing to the fact that the country is now, it's economically challenged. So they are concerned, where is the government going to get money from to sponsor this code? Is the money coming from the government or international partners?
I think what is important, as an old man now, my father told me that most of those who are interactive will usually say that you should first develop a will. And what we did today as a country was that fully we have developed the will as a country to say we need to have a closure to our situation that actually occurred as a way of having a history that will prevent or deter others from wanting to do anything odd. So the will was expressed today. The other aspect now is the means. But what means are we going to establish the code? Of course, there will be a lot of other conversation around that, to include what kind of code we are going to build. Is it going to be a hybrid code that will probably have international law along with our local laws and create a hybrid code, or do we want to create a full international code that will take into consideration international law? Now, these debates will come. Whatever way they come, now that we have expressed our desire was the first thing, and so we have the will actually overcome that. But there are many Liberians who are willing to contribute to that conversation. There are Liberians who are willing to do, even if there was a trust fund established, for example, that one is strategy right now. If a trust fund were to be established, the Liberian had to contribute to that fund in a way that fund will contribute to that code. It could be one mechanism. If we put aside a component of our annual budget on a regular basis by which we'll be able to fund that code, we'll have to do that. If we have to find a way to talk to the international community, because they have always been around. To answer your question, whether we are ready or not, there has been no time any country has been ready. No. When we decided to declare our independence, and Joseph Jingarao, as many people refer to him as a very radical businessman, politician, and a clergyman, we were not ready for anything, if you want to say ready. But he had the desire to persuade other governments, other Liberians that was in country. And then what do we have today? We have a country. So no time is ready. The world being ready, it depends on the context. I think right now we are ready. And there's going to be no time that we are going to be ready in order to agree to establishing a code than what was actually expressed today at the upper house by concurring with the lower house.
It's the code for a single person.
The code has got to be for Liberians, and it's a Liberian code. It's going to be for everyone. One person cannot run a code. The code will have a lot of other sections. For example, to even have the code established, you may want to conduct an economic and social analysis for the code. For example, how much is it going to take us in order to run that code? What is skill set that we need to have in country? What do we need to train journalists, for example? Folks who are going to be in social work, how do we train them? Are we going to incarcerate people into a facility that may call a holding or a prison facility? Are we going to do that? Or are we going to have a situation where we're going to call a rehabilitation center, where people are going to go in order to be rehabilitated? These are further up the debate. But we need to now start pushing, right, our lawmakers and whoever else we can actually talk to make sure that we start drafting the law, if we need to do a law, right? And we need to start engaging the international community. We need to start having massive awareness in order for quantum, indeed, that Liberian have actually agreed in order to have the closure of the war that we actually fought for many years, for which we destroyed everything in the country, including our human resource and human. And now we are still affected by that war. The trauma that has been created as a result of that war, you find it all the time. If you saw young boys driving and they get mad quickly, it's because of the trauma of the war. If you saw a young woman walking and she's not speaking to you, it's because of the trauma of the war. If you find young men calling on the radio and they are just so frustrated about the governing process, it's because of the trauma of the war. So the trauma is here. To de-enclose that trauma, we need to ensure that we support the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Code to get closure.
So finally, many have been saying this process is about witch hunt, and you've been one of those advocate and veteran lawyer. To close up, what would you love to tell the media and the audience that actually listen or being you through this process?
Well, what I would like to tell all is tell yourself thank you as a Liberian is the first thing. Say, I thank God that I'm a Liberian. I was born as a Liberian, even though I live in a very poor country. Poor economy, difficulties, but I thank God I'm a Liberian. When you should have done that, you need to say we make history today by the Senate concurring with the lower house. Another thing to say, you need to say we are developing well, so we can make it. We can make it no matter the situation, the fact that we are developing well. All of us will make it together. No one is going to be left behind. Everyone is going to participate in the process. So I can tell you, you have school like 100. I'm a teacher. If we're having a conversation, we say all Liberians have school 100 on a particular topic. What we now need is to see what can we do with that 100 in terms of our new lives that we are going to be thinking about. In terms of the new things that we are going to do, in terms of the institution we're going to be developing in order to implement for which, for the reason of our 100.
Any final word before we let you go?
Well, is to say that I would like to encourage young people, all of us, to do something new, and what you have got to do has got to be positive. Ensure that you pay for your citizen ID card, get one. It's going to help you. It's going to help the country to raise money. If you are a driver and you need to drive, please try to get your driver lesson. If you're a professional accountant and if accountants calls for you to get a professional accounting lesson, try to get that as a way to move the country in the new day. Of course, if you are a lawyer, if you are not paying your fees here to get your professional lawyer lesson, try to do that. Whatever career you're in, live according to the ethics. It is a way to move the country in the new direction. Young people do the things that are going to be, stay away from drugs. Young people stay away from drugs. Older people stay away from drugs, and report those who you find engaging into anything that got to do with drugs. It's going to harm you, it's going to harm me, it's going to harm all of us. So we all have got to do something new.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, that was the voice of Councillor Karngar, one of the veterans lawyers and advocate of Liberia. Thank you so much.